Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David, talking about the do's and the don'ts of the financial markets. If you're just tuning in, Al was shedding some light on how to utilize other markets than just the stock market. We have futures, we have Forex, and we also have options. Basically, what those will allow investors to do is take a smaller amount of capital to control a much larger asset. Basically, what I'm saying here is you don't have to put all of your capital into the market to have income potential. Use your capital wisely, which is maximizing that capital. And we talk about that in these investing classes, these different techniques and concepts. If you happen to miss 2 tickets for that investing class and the Cryptocurrency Foundations course, call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. When you call in right now, you're going to receive a Cryptocurrency Foundations course. There's 5 steps of using cryptocurrency, transacting with cryptocurrency, but also how to understand that blockchain technology. This is a big phenomenon, and you don't want to miss out on this. And this is free when you register for one of these investing classes. Al, you want to get into something a little bit different about the difference between investing and taking a trip, or some similarities or something like that.
Right.
I mean, what are you talking about there?
Well, just think about it. Let's just say that you are going to take your family on a vacation. The first thing you need to determine is where you're going to go, right?
Yep.
Where are you going to go? So tomorrow or next week, where are you going to be? The same thing is true with your finances. Where do you want to be with your finances in the future? Then you have to decide when you want to get there. You know, if you're taking a trip, do you want to get there tomorrow? You want to get there next month? If you want to get there in a year, how are you going to get there? You're going to walk, drive, take a plane? There are a number of different ways of getting to your goal. The same thing is true with investing. And then how about if you're going to drive, how about using a GPS system to kind of smooth out the trip, make sure you're on the right road at all times? And the same thing is true with your investments. You need to know where you want to be. Where are you now? What does your financial life look like, or what do you want it to look like in 5 or 10 years? How do you get there? What assets are you going to use? That's part of what we call solution planning. That's where assets like the futures market, the Forex market, the options market, that's where maybe those are used for certain parts of your trip, your financial trip, and then maybe the stock market is used for a different portion of it. There's the income portion, the wealth portion, which we talked about in the last segment. There's a different way of approaching and using the markets for each one of those two.
So basically, you need a plan for that, and that's what the institutions are doing. These plans, you helped a lot of people with these plans on how to get a plan to make your investments properly.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people, there's a myth out there too. When you're investing, it's not about just placing as many trades as you can, and emotional.
No.
You have that plan where you want to be, where you're starting out, where you want to be, and where you want to go. So when you do that, you have more investing confidence. So if you need that help with that investing confidence, just text the word invest to the number 484848 for 2 tickets for an investing class and a Cryptocurrency Foundations course to get started on to have a plan to get into the markets with consistency as well.
Yeah. And, one of the things that we hear, Josh, with our students, that they don't come in and brag to us about how much money they've made. What they do is they come in and they talk about how it has changed their life. And one of the things that they say is, we finally have the confidence to be able to do that. What's the name of the show? Investing with Confidence. That's our goal. But to do that, there's certain things that really need to be part of your everyday life. It's following a plan, and we'll help you put that plan together. But the plan should, like your trip, it should identify where you want to go financially, where you want to be in the future, and then we can help you bridge the gap between where you are now, where you want to go through that solution planning. Maybe for some people it is stock. Maybe for other people it's using options or futures or Forex. And by the way, those markets, we talk about those things. They're probably not markets you're very familiar with, or if you are, maybe you have heard stories about people that have lost money. Well, if that's the case, it's because they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have the proper knowledge or the skills. But when you're looking at the futures market, you're basically looking at what something is worth in the future, whether it's the stock markets, the major stock markets, whether it's commodities, oil, gold, silver, your favorite,
Lean hogs,
currencies, interest rates. It's probably the single best diversified family of assets that you can invest in.
Yeah, we get a lot of farmers that want to get into the futures
Right.
markets, people that are doing different things with lumber.
Mhm.
You know, these commodities might help them in their everyday lives as well. And just kind of paint a picture on what Al's talking about, having a plan and how to get into an investment. Al, you know I like to multitask, right? And as you were
Yes, I
talking
know.
here, I just
That's what concerns me.
I know. I just received a text from a good friend, and we like to deer hunt, right? And he's asking me about a deer stand. What's the right one to get into? And it's kind of reminded me of when you get into an investment, you don't chase investments. You wait for price to come to you. Kind of like when you deer hunt, you sit in your stand. Hopefully it's a heated stand, so you're not freezing. I know a lot of our deer hunters that are sitting out there right now, like, I got a heated stand. I wait for that big buck to come to me, right?
Sure.
Same thing in trading and investing. You have a plan. You get in your stand, which is your platform, place your trades. So you wait for price to come to you in your investments, and that eliminates, I should say, the emotions of trading and investing. If you want to learn more about how to make a plan, how to have price come to you to make investing decisions, it starts with knowledge and learning some skills. And Al teaches some of that stuff in these investing classes right here in Bloomington. Talks about how to manage risk and navigate these volatile markets. But I think the most important thing that I want our listeners to understand, and a lot of things that we talk about here today, is how to buy at a wholesale price and sell at retail price. We've been talking about this all day, just like the institutions do. So call 952-814-4410 for 2 tickets for this investing class right here in Bloomington. It's only 2 hours of your time. 952-814-4410. I also like to make it easy for you. Text the word invest, since I'm talking about texting. Text the word invest to the number 484848. You're going to receive a text back right away. Click the link, pick a date. We're also going to get a call to you within the next hour to talk about that free cryptocurrency course that you're going to get with that. Now, with the plan that everybody wants to get into, and you wait for price to get to you, brings more confidence in your investing. You still got to place that trade somewhere. Where do you place those trades or investments, and how do people get into them?
Yeah, well, 2 things. Let's go back to your deer stand. What you're talking about there is patience. It's waiting. And some people make the mistake of thinking that the way to benefit in the markets is to just make trade after trade after trade. It's the number of trades. That is not the case at all. In fact, that's one of the mistakes people make. Have the patience. And when Josh says have the patience to let the market come to you, what we mean by that is that what you will have identified if you're using the right strategy is where those buyers and sellers are that I mentioned in that first segment. Where are the buyers that have enough volume there, enough clout to move the price of something upwards? Where are the sellers that have enough clout to move it down? That's what we're waiting for. We've identified that. Then you have the patience of waiting until the price enters into those areas, what we call zones. And we show you how to do that. That's part of our core strategy. If you can identify with a high degree of accuracy where those zones are, you're identifying where turning points in the market are probably going to take place. That is where you can have the highest quality trade available, which should be your goal: low risk, high return potential, and a high probability of it working in your favor.
So once you find those areas of interest where you want to be a buyer or seller, where do you place those entry points?
Well, what you're going to do is you're actually placing a trade before it happens.
Okay.
Because what we're looking for are not filled orders. A lot of the strategies out there that you can read about or learn about tell you to look at volume. When you see a big spike in volume, that's when you want to look at getting into something.
Let me rephrase my question there, Al. Where do you place your trade? Do you have to call somebody?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
How do you? No,
Yeah.
you can. You certainly can. If you have a broker, you can do that, and that's going to probably cost you some money.
Let's make it easier.
But there are platforms that, in fact, our students, we give them a platform called Click, which is a trading and analysis and education platform where you can do all the workup on a trade. Brokers have platforms that you just go into and you identify what the asset is you want to trade, what price you want to pay to get in, what your protection should be, what your target should be. You just basically, it's a push of a couple of keys on your computer or clicking your mouse a few times, and you're in a trade. We show people how to do that because we have a lot of students that come in that have never done this before.
Yeah, most have never traded before, which is a great thing. We can teach you from the bottom up.
Well, and here's the way to do that is to get hands-on, to actually start doing it. I mean, you can tell somebody how to do something, It's like if you or I, Josh, if we go to a kid and say, "Hey, show us how to play this game on your phone,"
Show us how to turn our telephone on.
yeah, they won't actually have you putting your hands in it and doing it. They're going to take your phone away from your
Yep.
computer and say, "Here's how they do it." You're going to push a few keys and they're going to say, "See what I mean?" No, I didn't see what you mean. You have to actually do it, and that's how we teach. We have people trading live in the market with real money, but not their money. We don't want you to use your money when you're learning. This is where you want to make mistakes with a professional instructor that's there watching what you're doing, pointing out why you made a mistake, or as important, if you did something right, why was that right? Because some people don't know. They might have a couple of trades that go really well, have no idea why that happened. It's hands-on. That's where you actually get the real learning and where the real skill building happens.
Yep. Just let me correct you. It's actually not live money. It's live data. Just want to make sure our listeners understand that.
Yeah,
But the great
okay.
thing about what Al is talking about is how to get in your investments, where to put your investments, and how they execute automatically for you by having the right platform. And the difference between successful investing and a novice investor, it's understanding both market conditions, how to buy, which is buy long, and sell short. So having opportunities in up and down markets with confidence. If you want to learn more about how to get into your positions, if you're brand new to the markets and you want to learn how to start properly, you got to come into one of these investing classes that we do here in Bloomington. We're next to the Mall of America, just right off 494. You can actually see our building right off. You can see the highway right now. And these are classes where we've taught thousands, just like you, are many strategies which are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions. So call 952 814 4410 for 2 tickets for this class. 952 814 4410. You got to call right now. Those that call right now will also receive a cryptocurrency foundations course and a financial quick start kit that will help you get started right away. Al, what do you got coming up next to close it out?
Well, how about this? What's the difference between a cutback and an add-on retirement?
I know it's football season. Are we talking about a cutback in football, or is this in the financial
A
markets?
little bit different, Josh.
We'll find out coming up next. Once again, for 2 tickets for the investing class, call 952 814 4410. This is Josh and Al, Investing with Confidence.